Hi, thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Monty. I'm on a busy area right on up the 49. I'm looking to fish the American River today. And I was gonna go up to this Green river access up the road, because that's where the city of Kalima's website said was good. But the river looks great right below this bridge that crosses it, so I'm just gonna go down and mess around here. I tried to come here last winter when I was visiting family in the Sacramento area, and the river was so swollen and so brown, I didn't even know where to start. So I'm gonna hike down this canyon right here, and it looks really good. My tiny pole and my 1/8 ounce jig seem really small. It almost seems like I need a 1/2 ounce jig. And I've been planning to start stocking a couple of 1/2 ounce jigs, but I haven't done it yet. So this is gonna be the first leg of a long trip. I'm meeting some family for dinner tonight. I'm gonna visit my cousin after that, and then my aunt, and then I'm gonna go drive straight down the 99 and go look at what a couple sections of the Stanislaus River looks like for both Patreon and YouTube. But this is for YouTube. This is the first stop of a long haul trip. But let's see if we can't go get a fish right now. It's already about 10:30 and I can fish till about 2 before I gotta start visiting people. So let's go see what's going on down there. And this is a big rafting area, and you can see the life jackets. And the reason there's life jackets is because that river is swollen and it is rushing, but it is clear. We're gonna go down here, see how much of this I can fish safely, and then move on if I don't get anything. The regular trout season opens today, but for this river, it doesn't open until the Saturday preceding Memorial Day. So for right now, the only fishing you can legally do here is to fish with barbless, artificial, catch and release only, which is perfect for me, because that's the way I always fish in rivers, because I stopped keeping fish in rivers about a decade ago. I don't know how fishable this is gonna be down here. Whatever it is, I'm gonna have to really figure things out, because it's really deep and it's flowing pretty fast. And I'm assuming I'm gonna have to figure out the speed of the current so that I can get my lure down to where I want it to be. There's like big steel girders down there, so I'm not sure I really want to deal with that. I might fish the rock in between, but there's something big and steel, and there's a lot of it out there. So I'm gonna have to fish around this section, and then I'm gonna go figure something else out. But for right now, this is a good chance for me just to feel what the river's like. And I'm gonna go ahead and just throw this right close to shore and see if anything's hanging out deep along these rocks. I read that there's some browns in here and rainbows. They stock rainbows. So the water right here is real deep. So I'm gonna throw it out in the middle, and I'm just gonna let this thing sink and get down there. Then I'm gonna start jigging it. If I'm gonna pull something out of here, I'm gonna have to find it, I think. How killer this is. This is glacial polish, I guess. When the glaciers move through here, this rock is just smooth and worn down by the river and ice over the years. And it's really slippery. I don't even want to know what this is like when there's ice on it, because it's got to be horrible. I got to get to some stronger ground. This stuff is so slick. I do not want to fall into the river. This is really steep angles. There's places where I could just stand on the bank that I saw, and I think that's just a better option for me at this time. I've come to realize right off the bat that my 1/8 ounce jigs are not heavy enough for this flow. I need like at least like a 1/2 ounce to get down there. But I'm just, I'm just gonna have to figure it out. And I think I need to just go find some fast water where I can just rip it through, because it's real hard for me to get it down deep in any meaningful way here. It's had a small, it looked like a brown trout. Follow my lure up along this bank right here. See if I can get him to come out again, because he was eager. He just couldn't catch it. There he is. There he is. Woo! That might be a smallmouth bass. That's a smallmouth. That ain't no brown trout, but it's a smallmouth. There's your little smallie. Oh, he's back in. It's not what I'm looking for, but I'll take a catch. It's just to get it down into that deep stuff, man. My jig is just getting washed away. And it's hard for me to get it down in there. But that's the first smallmouth bass I caught in a long time. And I used to fish for those things a lot. In Lake Shasta and Lake Cachuma up above Santa Barbara. I lived in Isla Vista for a year and partied on my way down to San Diego when I first graduated high school. And we used to go up to Cachuma and just light up the smallies, big ones too. This is some big flowing river right here. I think I'm gonna try to get up there. The North Fork's coming in right there. This is the confluence. It looks like I could get a good shot right up there at that point. It's gonna take a little hiking. So far, I've been climbing around on rocks and hiking 4 times more than I've actually been fishing. Cause I got, if I see a spot, it's one thing, but it's gotta be safe. I'm not gonna scale down, or if I hook something, I'm gonna have to risk my life to get it. This water's ice cold. The runoff is in full steam, which makes me wonder what the Stanislaus is gonna look like. And whatever it is, I'm fishing it. Below the confluence of the 2 streams, it's really raging down here, but the speed's a lot less and the flow's more manageable over here. So let's take a good look. This is more what I like to fish right here. About this speed, about this size. The water's really clear, man. A little lounging spot right here. That's cool, if it doesn't end up in the river. Down in between the rocks, digging for stuff to pan for gold. And man, I was looking for rattlesnakes, and I came up on him and it freaked me out. Let's see if we can't get into some trout. This looks pretty good. I'm gonna get up in the front of that pool eventually, but first I'm gonna try this. High alert now, but if you come down here when it's hot, you really gotta watch out for rattlesnakes, man. Because this is the kind of place where you're gonna see a rattlesnake action, and if you're breaking through this stuff trying to fish. So just keep your head on a swivel and watch where you put your hands and stuff. Ripped my jig through this pool and had about a 5-pound brown come up and try to grab it. I mean, I saw that thing clear as day. Man, there's some big fish in this American River. Woo! Don't jump anymore. I threw it out there and just let the current take my jig, and then I was just ripping it through that white water. And man, I'm gonna try to get him over here. He's fighting. He's not as big as the one that swam up out from under the waterfall, but he's good. All right, I'm gonna have to make some adjustments here. Oh man, that fish, I almost dropped an F-bomb. Got him. Let's get over here where I can handle him. Oh, that is a nice brown trout. Woo! And he didn't hesitate on that jig. And look at my jig, already fell out of the fish. I threw it out there and I felt a hit. So I threw it way back out there. He's not as big as that giant one that came out from under the waterfall, but he's nice. And he's ready to go. I'm gonna get my hands wet and I'm gonna show him to you. There he is in the net. Beautiful, healthy brown trout. That's a beauty. There he goes. There's a guy panning for gold over there. He was laying in the rocks digging out dirt. So I'm gonna go to another part of the river. That's easier to fish, right? I don't have to jump around. But when this water goes down, man, I'm coming back here and I'm hoping to light things up. Talking to the gold panning dude. It's very cool. This is the middle fork of the American I'm on. The North Fork is over there, I think. I just said the North Fork because that's what the sign on the bridge said, but I'm in a different fork. So, I'm in the American. And I know I can fish barbless catch and release right now. That's all I know. Because it said middle, south, and north. Crossing into Palliser County, I'm just gonna walk across the bridge because I don't have a lot of time. I gotta meet my uncle and aunt at Rudy's for steaks and prime rib at 4. And then I gotta make a couple other visits. So we're gonna go down, we're gonna hit this stretch of water, and then I'm probably gonna have to call it a day because it's almost noon already. So now I'm fishing the other side of the bridge, just below the confluence. I'm gonna go up and fish the other fork in a second. But, I mean, when the river's like this, I gotta do whatever I can to get my jig down. At that big white water, I had to put it down and let the current just deep it down deep, and then I pulled it up out of that depth. Here, I have the luxury of casting upstream. I'll just let it sink for a little bit because the current's gonna take it right down. I'm down deep, and now I can just kind of bounce it down deep. And this is what I really like to do, but I have better luck in the faster water. But I just wanted to show you the kind of variety of things I gotta do today to get this 1/8 ounce jig down because the flow is so high and the river's fishing really deep in these pools. But I'm gonna go find some white water. White water's better for me. This is the North Fork. I caught my fish up around that corner and that guy said it was the Middle Fork. So I guess I'm fishing the confluence of the Middle and the North Fork of the American. Lost another one. I'm on the other side of the river from where I fished before, and I'm hitting some fish in this fast water. It ain't easy to fish it, but I mean, my jig is skipping out as soon as it gets downstream, but I cast it under that tree. That's where those 2 chairs were. And I hit, and that fish nailed it right when I got it in there. And he came off. And the funny thing is I cast it from over there and I didn't get anything. So I don't know what's going on. Last fish I set the hook on that got off into my jig. I just got something at the base of that white water, and I think it's a bass. I think I got another bass, man. Whatever it is, it's fighting really hard. He's on the other side of a rock now, which is no good for me. Get out of there. It looks like a largemouth. Get out of that rock, man. I can't get over there, so I gotta let him get back in the water. There he is. All right, let's see. Oh, I got a bass. This is Roland Martin territory, son. Son. Oh, look at that, son. Roland Martin is like my fishing hero from when I was a kid. All right, let me get over here so I can try to land him. There he is. Oh. There he is. Let me get my hands wet. I'll have to get it on the net. I can't fall in this water. So there's clearly bass in the American River. There he is. He was right under that whitewater right there. So it wasn't even like, it was, I figure I had a trout when I hit that, but it was a bass. So that's gonna do it. It's a good first sampling of the Middle Fork of the American River. I messed around in the North Fork a little bit. I got bites. I got a lot of bites today. Got a couple of bass, a smallmouth, a spotted bass or largemouth or whatever that was. And I got a nice brown. But the one that came up out of that waterfall there, I pitched my jig in right at the side of the whitewater, and he came up and I saw him, man. He was nice. So the brown I got was a placeholder. I'm gonna come back here when the flow's a little bit down in a few weeks, and I'm gonna really spend some time. I only had a few hours today because I gotta go. My cousin Lancet's in the clip with me at Union Valley. His sister has a baby, as I mentioned in that clip. So I gotta go see it. But the good thing is, I gotta go. You know, I'm gonna go see the baby. Hey, I gotta hit the road. And I'm gonna go have some nice prime rib over at Rudy's Seafood. And then I'm heading down to Sonora. And I'm gonna go see what's going on in the Middle Fork and the South Fork of the Stanislaus River for Patreon and YouTube. So thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Amani today. We're coming back. Until next time.